All right, let's start working on that connecting piece between the handlebars here. Before we do that, though, let's do a little cleanup over here in the outliner. I'm going to find the different pieces that we've just been creating here. Well, this is the chassis. Yeah, I mean, I could take all of this and put it in the chassis collection here. So let's just do that. Just drag that up into there. And the chassis reference, I could drag into the reference objects for now. We could bring back the seat, I guess. All right, and now let's work on bringing in some reference images that'll help us with that piece. Well, here's a good one. Let's take a look at this. Let's press Control and Space Bar and take a look at this. And I'm just thinking about this piece right here. It kind of curves out here. It's got a extrusion or something out here, and it also kind of melds into these circular pieces where the handlebar goes into. So I think I'd like to work on this right here. Let's see what other reference image we might have for this, just so we've got two views of it. Let's see, I'm going to hover over here, drag down, and create a new window, change to an image editor, and let's see what else we can find here. I just opened this one here. What about this one? Let's take a look at this. This is another kind of top view. Yeah, that's a nice angle on it as well. So I think between these two, we should be able to get fairly close to that. All right, well, let's give this a try. I'll maybe select just this piece and zoom in with the period key on the numpad. And then let's take this and press Shift S2 and bring the cursor into there. And it's got some curves to it, but I think I'll begin with a cube and we'll use the subdivision surface modifier to get some of these curves. Let's press Shift A, Mesh Cube. Let's take it down pretty far. I'll take it down to 0.1 meters. All right, let's scale it down. And it looks like it's going to need to turn to be in line with what we've got going on here. So let's just hit the R key and turn it some like this. And I'll move it up. I'm still in local transformation mode, which allows me to move it in line with the angle of the object. And then maybe let's press S and Z and see how tall this should be. It's kind of hard to see from this angle. Let's press Control Numpad 3 to go to the other side, and Z and wireframe. And so it looks to me like it's about right to here. And then maybe we could tab into edit mode, select this face, and bring it up so it's about like, because here's that cylinder, I think, that's beneath it. And here are the pieces on top of it. Maybe something like this. Maybe that's about how tall it is there. Let's take a look at what that gives us now when we tumble around. All right, I think that could work. Let's press SX and scale out a bit. Now let's press Control R and drop an edge loop right down the center. I'll just hit Enter twice. And then let's select these faces here. I just Alt-clicked between two faces and then Shift-click that one. And let's hit Delete and delete faces. And then we can go ahead and add a mirror modifier to this. Let me see if I can bring these up a bit here. And we'll turn on clipping. Let's also add a few edge loops here. So maybe if I added an edge loop right around in here. Oh, and I'll turn on the cage so we can see that on the other side. And if I hit the 3 key and select this face, maybe I can hit E and extrude this out. And maybe take this edge here and pull it out. See how that works, because I'm just beginning this kind of little extrusion here. All of that's going to collapse a bit once we add a subdivision surface modifier to it. And maybe let's add an edge loop over here and kind of pull this out as well. So maybe we take this and pull it out a bit like this. And maybe I'll even take this edge and pull it out a bit like this, just so we have something for the handlebars to come out of. Now I think we're at a good point to add a subdivision surface modifier and see what we have. I'll go ahead and add a modifier here. So let's tab into edit mode, and we've got some work to do here. I'm gonna right click in object mode and choose shade smooth, and then I'll add an edge up here to give it a little bit tighter edge up there, and add an edge and drag it down like this. And for this in here, I feel like I could take these faces and maybe extrude these out like this, and then take these and control click this edge here and pull this out. So we're getting some of this curve back here. Yeah, we're getting there. This curve up here is a little narrower. I may be able to alt click this edge and bring it in, and alt click this edge and bring this in a bit like this. Let's go ahead and add another subdivision level here. I'll just take that up to 2, and yeah, that looks pretty nice. I like that. All right, so now let's think about this piece here and how we're going to get this. I think what I'm going to have to do is add an edge through here, through the center. How are we going to get these guys in here? I think what I'm going to do is select these and move these back a bit. I'm going to move them in the y-axis here. Actually, let me go to global and then move them in the y. So I'm just going to hit GY and move all of these back just a smidge like that. Yeah, so we have a little bit more room to play with in there. What I need is some geometry to create a round hole here. And I think if I select or create an edge here and move this forward up here like this, and maybe create another one here. Let's try this. Now what I've got is I've got these faces here, and those 4 faces have 8 edges all the way around. So what we could do is press Shift S2 and move the cursor there, and press Shift A and create a new cylinder, and give this 8 sides, and take it down pretty small as well, and remove any caps on the top and the bottom. And then we could scale this down. We could turn it so it's in line with this piece here. Like this, let's say. Now we need to move it a bit over here and kind of do a little bit of rotating and work to get this in line. And I can't really duplicate polygons off of this currently because I still have it as a path, and that's fine. I still want to keep it like that just in case I want to make a few adjustments. But for this, let me change to local transformation, and I'm going to turn in the z-axis RZ, so it kind of spins like this, so that it lines up with these edges. Now if I take this and shift click this, and then join these two together, Control J, it gives us both a mirror of that and subdivides it. I'll smooth it again. Now I feel like we're going to need one more edge in here because I've got this edge is doing the work, but I think I need to add another one right in here. Let's see how that works. And use these faces right here. So I'm going to take these faces and delete them. And then I'm going to take this edge, and we're going to bridge edge loops. Control E, bridge edge loops. And there we go. So now we've got those coming out of that. And we could maybe take this and move it over a bit. We could take this and slide it over some, G 2 times like this. So we could do a little work to get that to transition a little cleaner, but I think that works pretty well actually. I'll move that in like this and then back like that. Let's try that. So that just allows us to get this kind of smooth transition, like we see here, from one piece to the other. Just going to move this up a bit. Maybe take these edges here, hit the G key 2 times and slide them back a bit. So it just kind of grows out of that piece fairly organically, kind of like this here. We could maybe take this and move this in a bit, move it over some. All right, so we've got generally that piece there. That's not bad. I think I'd like to maybe just hit G 2 times and slide this over like this. And then we could always take these edges in here. This, 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 and this. And kind of pull these back a bit like this. So once again, it may just be a little bit of point pulling, moving things around until you get it the way you like it. In the next video, we'll work on these plates up here and these pieces on the top.